What is my Bitcoin forecast after 2024? And we can see that the Bitcoin price at the close of December, it marked this inverted hammer, clearly indicates that a correction is coming. However, its overall trend remains upward. We will discuss the fundamental reasons why Bitcoin may have peaked in December 2024 for the time being, and why with a potential support at around 82,000 this year. Let's see how we can manage Bitcoin since it has peaked above 100,000 as we move into 2025. I'm Con. How my work in this channel is to study behavior science and finance, discover correlation between different markets, and uncover potential opportunities. Before we get into today's tutorial, please do take some time to read into the disclaimer. First, why Bitcoin may be supported at around 82,000 in 2025. Let's get into its technical, then into its fundamental reason to support the idea. Technical is that usually how to identify a uptrend in any commodities. First, I'd like to identify where's the uptrend line using this significant trough. And I'm going to discover its relationship, how true this uptrend line that I could adopt into the future is that I try to mirror its significant peaks in the history or in its history. And I could see that it's reacting pretty well on the significant peaks here. Yeah. And the next thing I will do is that I will drill down into the micro picture, say in the weekly chart that I'm seeing here, or we are seeing here, that is reactive pretty well on the trough, is peak as well. And it seems to be in between this gap, which was very significant in history for Bitcoin. We will explain later. And why 82,000, as we could see here, as it corrects, 82,000 is about here. But of course, as the time move, I may adjust 82,000 to 82,500 or 83,000. How about its fundamental reason to support 82,000 about there? And why Bitcoin overall trend remains upward? Now, the key is this. If you believe in years to come, inflationary trend likely to continue its upward momentum, maybe Bitcoin should be still trending higher along with inflation. Why is this so? With Bitcoin fixed supply, that is making it increasingly attractive as a digital gold to hedge against inflation. And this concept of cryptocurrency as an inflation hedge, it gels very well, especially with the millennials and the younger investors. And this group, as we all know, is ever growing. Next, why is studies shown that Bitcoin have peaked in December 2024 and correction is likely to come? And let's also study its technical reason, and we'll move into its fundamental. Now let's go back to its monthly chart. As we could see here that it indicates that there's this inverted hammer that was the whole month in December. As we look into the history of Bitcoin, we have not really seen a very classic inverted hammer like this. And this also clearly indicates that maybe correction may be coming with this inverted hammer technically. And let's discuss about the fundamental reason to identify that could this be true of what the inverted hammer has indicated, that maybe the next few months we're seeing a weaker Bitcoin. And fundamentally, Bitcoin has been overpriced since the beginning of 2024. Now let's get into its fundamental. With the multiple Bitcoin ETF was approved by the US regulator SEC at the beginning of 2024. And maybe what we should do here is that was in beginning of 2024, as we could see here. Why Bitcoin has surged during this period? It was because of the approval of the multiple Bitcoin ETF by SEC, as we have discussed. We saw that it moved up. And why during this period the market broke above this upper trend channel? It was because of the supportive policy from President-elect Donald Trump during the US presidential election in November 2024. And we saw how Bitcoin has leaped into a new territory. And with President-elect Donald Trump, the next 4 years, and with this fundamental support, many of the market watchers believe that Bitcoin will continue this upward momentum. And why Bitcoin may be overvalued here, as we discussed about monthly chart on the inverted hammer. And there's a reason here is that if we're going to compare with gold since the start of 2024, if you make reference to gold, it's the same period that gold started to move up as well. Gold has risen at the beginning of 2024 to its all-time high at the late of 2024. Gold has risen by 40%, whereas Bitcoin has risen by 182%. Therefore, in such a run, a correction is always healthy. And how are we going to manage Bitcoin since it has peaked above 100,000 as we move into 2025? And bear in mind that I'm still positive about Bitcoin. Basically, the whole idea is that I would love to bump dips, but for the time being, because of this inverted hammer, I'm seeing a correction to come. And let's study into the 3 hours chart. And I think that will be, if you want to manage into this volatility, and this is how I'm doing it all the time, using the same principle, what I'm going to do is to find significant peaks here. And I'm going to draw this trend line here. And I'm not too sure if I would like to adopt this downtrend line as we have identified. And what we need to do is to find some relationship. And what I intend to do is to mirror this down and find that if there's any reaction here, as we could see with this significant peaks downtrend line, I'm not exactly sure at the point in time, but as I find a relationship in the past history, I could see that it peaked here, and once it broke, it comes supported here, and it comes supported here. Maybe I would like to adopt this downtrend line channel as it head towards maybe 82,000 as time passes. This is what we have identified earlier, or even lower. As long as the market perceives Bitcoin as an asset to hedge against inflation, this uptrend is likely to continue. Its volatility may not appeal to all investors, but traders might appreciate it much more. We cannot perfectly time the market, but it is possible to get the market timing right. The market are always telling us on their next move. Stay tuned for my coming tutorial. Remember to subscribe to my channel. Join us in our weekly case study and discussion. Click on my profile icon or description below to find out more. Feel free to leave any comments below. I love to exchange ideas with you on what is about to come. Really happy that you stay through this tutorial. You have many great trading weeks ahead.